So can we talk a little about the rest of the report? What is the findings of the report at this point? You know, apart from what Thomas More found, what does William Clegg and his Simon Baker, as from a judicial point of view?
As I said, the reason of writing this report is mainly about breach of European Human Rights Convention articles. So they precisely do that. They use Thomas More's report on the one hand, and on the other hand, Clegg was given the English transcription of translation of a court decision of an alleged member of the Gülenist organization from Turkey who was arrested on purely three evidences. And the claims were download and use of BYLOCK application, having a bank account in Bankasya, and having stayed in the past in one of the student dorms run by Gülenists.
So this is from a real case, Mr.
Yes,
X, which the information of its identity is being with the Simon Clegg, has been charged of being a member of Gülenist by his association with three lawful things which weren't illegal and probably not illegal even yet, is having downloaded an app like any app, and having a bank account in one of the regulated banks of Turkey, and also staying one of the government regulated dormitory, privately owned dormitory. Is that right?
Yes, precisely. William Clegg says, first of all, use of BYLOCK cannot be used as an evidence against anybody to claim that they are members of a terrorist organization or any organization. And he bases his decision on Thomas More's report. On the other hand, he says that the Turkish courts are actually using the MIT report without mentioning the MIT report. They are copying and pasting, the prosecutors are copying, pasting certain sections from the MIT report, but they are not saying this came to us from the MIT report. And this altogether sophisticates the situation. But this is a clear evidence, he says, that the courthouses are either using the MIT report as it is, or they are using other reports that actually copied and pasted sections from the MIT report. And the MIT report, as Thomas More also underlined, cannot be used in a courthouse because of anonymity of its author, he says. On the other hand, he continues on several other issues. He, in the end, reaches to observation that already the arrest of Mr. X, actually he doesn't say Mr. or Mrs., we don't know, X, contradicts or breaches three articles of European Human Rights Convention. These are Article 5, Article 6, and Article 7. I will go through each one of them. But before then, he underlines the issue of derogation of Turkey's signature under the European Human Rights Convention. You will remember that soon after the attempted coup of 15th of July 2016, Turkey wrote a letter to European Human Rights Court and said that I am going to derogate my signature. Derogation of signature is this. It says I am passing through a state of emergency, so I'm going to use maximum authorities by means of limiting or restricting human rights in my country because of the security situation. Clegg underlines that derogation does not mean altogether cancellation. The European Human Rights Convention still continues on governing the process under a derogated signatory country also. So Turkey is still bound by European Human Rights Convention, and Turkey can be sued in European Human Rights Court despite the fact that it has a derogated signature. Derogation does not mean altogether being outside Human Rights Convention, William Clegg underlines. And he continues on and says that the fact that in the case of X, BYLOCK use and staying in a dorm house and having a bank account in a perfectly legal bank in Turkey is used as evidence without any further evidence to claim membership of an organization or a terrorist organization, suggests that in fact the same mistake is being made in other cases also, and it may be a huge legal scandal. He says that about 75,000 people who are detained and who are in process of being arrested or sued on such claims is problematic, he says, and he then passes to examination of the 3 articles that I mentioned.
So what does the